Welcome back to Fog of Work. If you've been paying attention, you can feel it in the air. Layoffs are coming, not just in tech, not just in startups, but everywhere. And for millions of working-class people in the US and Canada, this isn't just a wave, it's a tsunami. But here's good news. You can prepare, you can take action, and most importantly, you're not alone. Let's talk about what's really happening, what it means for people like us, and how we can protect ourselves and each other. Let's start by breaking down what's unfolding all around us. Big corporations are cutting costs again, interest rates are still high, growth is slowing, and automation is getting cheaper than people. In the US, job cuts surged earlier this year across finance, retail, tech, even government contractors. In Canada, hiring freezes are turning into quiet layoffs, people disappearing without announcements. Entire departments are being absorbed, restructured, or offboarded quietly. Performance reviews are shifting focus, job postings are being pulled overnight. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, AI. It's not just replacing simple tasks anymore, it's replacing entire job functions, faster than we expected. But there is another pressure building beneath the surface, one that's dominating headlines right now, tariffs. Since Trump returned to power, the US has been ramping up tariffs on imports, not just from China, but from allies too, including Canada. These protectionist trade moves are making everyday goods more expensive and creating friction across entire supply chains. Businesses that rely on cross-border materials like automotive, construction, food processing are getting squeezed. Canadian exports to the US face higher costs, and in return, American industries using imported parts are cutting labor to absorb losses. It's not just factories being affected, it's finance departments, logistics roles, HR teams, and marketing staff. When costs go up and margins shrink, jobs are the first thing on the chopping block. And with global supply chains under stress, more layoffs are expected as companies try to protect their bottom line. So what we are seeing now isn't a blip, it's the start of a pattern, a policy shift that could ripple across both countries for years to come. It's not about how well you perform, it's about cost, optics, and short-term shareholder pressure. And in this system, the worker is always the first to go. Now that we understand the big picture, let's talk about how all this affects regular people like you and me. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, a layoff doesn't just hurt, it destroys. No income means no rent, no food security, no stability. And it doesn't take months. It can take just one missed check. And let's be honest, most of us are already stretched thin. We're juggling credit card debt, car loans, rising rents, and grocery prices that seem to go up every week. There is no buffer anymore. So when that paycheck disappears, the house of cards collapses fast. In Canada, employment insurance, or EI, is a temporary cushion, but it's limited. In the US, if you lose your job, you lose your health insurance too. One medical emergency can wipe out whatever savings you managed to build. That's not a safety net. That's a trap. And the damage isn't just financial. There is a psychological price, the stress, the shame, the constant fear of running out of options. You start questioning your worth, wondering if you did something wrong, if maybe you deserved it. You stop answering texts, you make excuses, you withdraw. It becomes harder to ask for help, even from people who care. And the silence eats away at your self-esteem. This is what layoffs really cost us. Not just income, but peace, health, and dignity. And no one prepares you for that part. Even if you've done everything right, worked hard, stayed late, sacrificed, you're still at risk. Here's why loyalty doesn't guarantee protection. You gave them your time, your energy, your best years. You stayed late, took on extra work, skipped family events. You thought they would remember that, value that, protect you. But corporations don't reward loyalty, they exploit it. You're not a person to them, you are a line item. And when the budget gets tight, that line gets deleted. Some of the most dedicated, long-tenured employees I know were let go without even a thank you. Not because they did anything wrong, but because someone higher up wanted to make the quarterly report look better. And let's talk about the promises they make. We're family. You're essential. We're all in this together. They say that until the numbers don't add up, until a new VP wants to restructure, until the budget meeting turns your job into an expense that can be eliminated. This isn't about bitterness, it's about awareness. Loyalty isn't a strategy. It's a vulnerability if you give it to the wrong people. Because when the time comes, your years of dedication won't even buy you a few weeks of job security. So save your loyalty for the people who deserve it, for your family, your friends, your community, for your future self who needs you to stay sharp, not exhausted and naive. And most importantly, start seeing your job for what it is, a contract, not a covenant, a means, not a mission. So what can we actually do about it? Here's how you can start taking control. Now is the time to get serious about your money. Go line by line through your spending. What's essential? What can go? Cancel the things you don't use or need. Maybe it's that streaming service you forgot you had, or that gym membership you haven't touched in months. Start setting aside whatever you can. Even if it's just a small amount, $20 here, $50 there, it builds up. That's your breathing room when things go sideways. That little fund can help you keep the lights on or buy groceries if your paycheck suddenly disappears. If you got high interest debt, like credit cards, work on a plan to bring it down. Every bit you pay off now gives you more flexibility later. The less you owe, the easier it is to stay on your feet if your income gets cut. And if this all feels overwhelming, you are not alone. There are nonprofit credit counselors who can help without trying to sell you anything. Sometimes just talking through it helps you feel more in control. And don't just work, document it all. You work hard, you solve problems, you deliver results, but if no one knows, it doesn't help you when it matters. Start keeping track, privately, of what you're doing. That project you wrapped up ahead of schedule, write it down. That email your boss sent praising your work, save it. This isn't about bragging, it's about being ready. If your job suddenly ends, you'll have all the proof you need to show future employers what you're capable of. You'll have numbers, you'll have stories, you'll have results. And back it all up. Don't leave it stuck in a company system that locks you out when you're let go. Make sure you can access your records, even if it's just in a notes app or a spreadsheet. And don't wait for bad news. Update your resume now. Think beyond job duties. What did you achieve? What problems did you fix? Use strong, clear language. Make it easy for someone reading it to say, "We need this person." And then look at your LinkedIn. That's your public face to the working world. Make sure it reflects the best version of your professional self. Update your headline and summary. Add new skills. Accept those connection requests you've been ignoring. Reach out to people you trust, former coworkers, mentors, friends. Let them know what kind of opportunities you're exploring. The more conversations you start now, the fewer cold calls you'll need to make later. If you have the energy, invest some of it in learning. Not because your job demands it, but because you deserve to grow. Look for skills that are gaining value. AI tools, data basics, remote collaboration, digital literacy, even emotional intelligence. You don't have to spend money. There is a ton of free material out there. Find a YouTube series, a free course, a podcast. Even reading a few articles a week helps. You are building a habit of growth, and that matters when you need to pivot. Certifications or micro-credentials can help too. Even small ones show initiative. They make your resume stand out and give you something to talk about in interviews. Also ask yourself a simple question. What would I do if my job ended tomorrow? Don't panic, just imagine it. What would be your next move? Could you freelance? Could you deliver food, tutor, build websites, fix things, write, coach? Help others with something you're already good at. Your backup plan doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Make a list of 3 things you could try. Start setting one of them in motion now, even in a small way. Create an account, reach out to someone, offer to help. The more options you see, the more power you have. You stop feeling like you're stuck and start realizing you have choices. And sometimes that's all it takes to stay calm in the chaos. Because here is the truth. Preparing won't guarantee you avoid hardship, but it will help you face it on your feet, not your knees. That kind of strength is something no one can take from you. What about you? Do you see anything else that people should be doing to prepare? If you have tips, lessons, or personal strategies, share them in the comments. You never know who might need to hear exactly what you have to say. If you're still in the job, that's good news. But it's also your window to prepare before the storm hits. Still getting a paycheck? Great! That means you have time to prepare. But don't mistake employment for security. Just because the lights are still on today doesn't mean the power won't be cut tomorrow. Start by treating your job like a launch pad, not a lifeboat. Begin backing up everything you might need access to: contacts, client notes, project lists, or work samples if allowed. Save emails with praise or performance reviews. If the door suddenly closes, you'll want those materials in your hands, not locked behind a disabled login. Make sure you understand your benefits. What happens to your health coverage if you are let go? Are there options for conversion or extension? What kind of severance, if any, does your employer offer? What about unused vacation days or bonuses you've earned? Know the rules before you're on the other side of them. Print or download your recent pay stubs, tax slips, and any company policies relevant to layoffs or termination. These aren't just files, they're proof. If you need to claim employment insurance, dispute severance terms, or apply for hardship assistance, these documents will save you. Talk to trusted coworkers, not to gossip but to compare notes. Sometimes others have heard things you haven't. Sharing insights and resources now could help all of you later. And finally, shift your mindset. Your job is not your identity. It's a transaction. Keep doing good work, but don't let it blind you to the bigger picture. You are not being paranoid, you are being prepared. And if that moment comes, if you're let go, this is what you need to do next. Take a deep breath. Yes, it's shocking. Yes, it hurts. But take another breath. You are still here and you are not alone. Getting laid off feels like a punch to the gut because it strikes where you're most vulnerable. Your livelihood, your routine, your sense of control. So first, give yourself space to feel it. The anger, the fear, the disappointment. It's all real. And it's all okay. Then focus on the first practical step. File for unemployment or employment insurance right away. These systems move slowly, and the sooner you're in the queue, the better. Next, call your creditors, credit card companies, banks, mortgage lenders, even utility companies. Ask about hardship programs. A lot of them won't advertise it, but they do exist. You don't have to do this part alone. Create a new rhythm. You don't need to job hunt 12 hours a day. In fact, you shouldn't. Set aside time each day to search, apply, and follow up, but also to rest, reflect, and reconnect. Burnout doesn't help you get hired. If you can, tell someone, a friend, a former coworker, a mentor. You're not the only one this has happened to. And you'd be surprised how many people are willing to help if they just know you're looking. Reframe this moment. It's not just an end. It's a hard reset. A door slamming shut, but also a space opening up where a better fit might exist. And yes, it's scary, but with support, planning, and a bit of time, you can turn this from a free fall into a landing. You're not just going to get through this. You're going to come out stronger than the system expected. Let's make sure of it. No matter what happens, never forget this truth, because it will carry you through the hardest parts. You are more than your job title. You are not just an expense on someone's spreadsheet. You're a person with hopes, dreams, and value that goes far beyond what shows up in a performance review. You deserve to feel secure, to sleep without worry, to plan your future without fear. But the system we live in won't give you that peace by default. It's not built to protect you, it's built to extract from you. So we have to protect each other and ourselves. Keep learning, keep connecting, keep questioning the rules you've been told to follow. Say no to unpaid overtime. Say yes to time with your kids. Say yes to your health, to your boundaries, to your dignity. Most of all, believe this. Your future is not behind you. It's not gone. It's been rewritten. And you get to hold the pen. One choice at a time, one boundary at a time, one step at a time. If this message hit home, check out my other videos about how work, politics, and economics are stealing your life, one paycheck at a time. Subscribe to Fogo Work. Let's stay sharp, stay connected, and stay human together. And I'll see you in the next one.